right, so we're on a new episode of Blood Money with Scott and Michelle. They own a financial planning firm, but after seeing a lot of the censorship happening, they took it upon themselves to start their own social media company on their own time and dime.
We are conservatives. We love America. It's a real shit show what's going on right now. And therefore, we are doing what we can as patriots of this country to help make a difference. And that's where speakyourmindhere.com came into existence.
Well, basically to restore constitutional values, which I think have been lost. And I think the platform is really important for conservatives. Our biggest challenge is getting the word out, driving traffic. We're the small fish in a big pond. Otherwise, it's running well. We have some great users on there. The base is growing daily. But would you say that's our biggest challenge, right?
Yeah. When you have people like a Mike Lindell, like a Jason Miller, you have connections into the big media and you have tons of followers on Twitter and other social platforms. It's much easier for them to get their word out. Besides the fact they also have millions and millions and millions of dollars behind them just because of who they are. Michelle and I took this project on by ourselves. We're doing it on our own time, on our own dime. We don't have big investors behind us or anything like that. We're doing this because we love this country and we want to make a difference. So I think we're really onto something, and it's really just a matter of speaking to great people like you, Vem, and helping each other because we share a common mission.
So I'm going to dive right into this. Since this show is called Blood Money, our key question that we ask individuals that we interview, what does blood money mean to you guys?
To me, blood money is government. Government is legal, organized crime. The things that big government, I want to say politicians and just bureaucracy in general, politicians get away with things that your average Joe, it just would never happen. You'd find yourself in a courtroom behind bars in prison. It's really sad that people who are so high up in government can get away with the things that they do.
So why do you think that is, that government officials always seem to get away with crimes, and there seems to be almost like a caste system in the United States where there's two classes of people?
Well, look, they write the laws, right? And any political party, Democrat or Republican, the whole thing is that you're going to band with your political party. You're going to stick by your political party. You're going to make rules and laws and mandates that you think are going to benefit themselves. And then we all have to follow it. Right. So they're the chiefs and we're all the Indians. The problem is that the Indians don't like what the chiefs are doing right now. And that's because the chiefs are taking advantage of the Indians. The stuff that's going on, Fauci is really, he should be fraudgy. He should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. He had complete involvement in the lab in Wuhan along with so many others. And yet he's the one who's calling the shots here and changes his story every day. Imagine if someone was an employee of a company, even an executive in a company, a member of a C-suite, right? And they did something wrong. They get fired. So why is it that government officials, we have no term limits for in Congress? Then you have, we'll talk about Sleepy Joe. He's just a complete disaster. I got a meme the other day. If you walked onto an airplane and Joe Biden was the pilot, would you get on the plane? And this is the joke who's running our country.
How does it change? How do we change all this?
Well, look, that's a great question, Vem. And the way I think we change it is by, well, first of all, the midterms are coming up. And I truly think that there are people who have buyer's remorse. And I can tell you, I know people personally who they voted for Biden just because they couldn't stand Trump. And now look at the position that we're in. I think the way we need to change it is the one good thing about social media, in my opinion, is the quick access to information. Now, whether right or wrong, that's up to the user to be able to disseminate and do their own research and decide whether or not what they're reading isn't false and that it's factual information and kind of take it from there. I don't think that social media platforms should be doing fact checking. It's not the way social media was designed. And then because we have so much information, people who knew nothing about politics all of a sudden get involved in politics. So I think that the way we educate people is getting information out, like the way we are on our website, on Speak Your Mind, just letting people know that what's going on right now is wrong. And you don't have to follow, you don't have to be sheep, right? And stand up for what your core constitutional rights are. And I think if enough people band together, like all the stuff with the vaccine mandates, and it's about education. We educate our clients about financial planning. We need to educate the public about what's going on right now, how wrong it is, and we all need to band together to make change. That's how I think it's going to get done. And getting these assholes out of office who shouldn't be there.
So, Michelle, what does blood money mean to you?
So my theory since day one is basically, put out a bioweapon virus right around the time of the election, cause mass hysteria, deaths, illnesses, you name it, to then move it along to, popping out with a vaccine so fast. And to me, it's big pharma, big money. They follow the money. They don't care about the well-being of people. They don't care about our life, our children. I mean, we're fighting this on a local level as well. And if you're familiar with New York and what's going on right now, it is a mess and people are fighting it hard. So to me, blood money is big pharma, big money. They're just following the money. And if you've ever seen the show Dope Sick, it's kind of the same thing. The FDA approves and regulates based on data that is given to them by the manufacturer company. They're not actually studying the data themselves. They're like, well, if Pfizer says it's okay, let's put it out there, no matter what. Why? Because they're making money. So it's the bioweapon to the virus to the vaccine to money. It all ends up with the money. And that's where we're at. And unfortunately, you have a lot of people believing all the propaganda that they're going to die if they don't get vaccinated. They're going to die if they don't wear a mask. We walk everywhere without masks. We're not complying. We're following it. There are places that we absolutely have to go to the doctor's office. You have to wear a mask. But other than that, I'm not wearing it. And the more people fight, it takes one person, then two. You need a nice group of people. And we're fighting it from schools to universities to, I have kids in school. It's insane what this governor that was installed is doing here. So I think that's a big problem. As far as our platform, I mean, they're all fighting the same fight and we're all on the same mission. And we want to be able to give them a platform to just speak openly and get other people on board.
When all is said and done, the amount of money that the pharmaceutical companies are going to make on this vaccine, it's insane. You want to talk about Biden and the vaccine mandates and everything else. The reality of it is it did start with Operation Warp Speed with Trump.
Do you have any suspicions of Trump in all of this, or do you think he was just dealing with the problems as they're coming down to him?
I don't think any president could have handled this situation any differently.
And
the
that's
fact
why
that he's disliked is
exactly
just
and
adds to it. But
exactly. So now you have Biden and everyone's all up in arms with the mandates, and I agree, but who the hell knows what would have happened and what Trump would have advised? And it doesn't take away the fact that Biden's a total loser and can't put two sentences together.
Well, we will never know, because when a president doesn't get a second term, he didn't get to complete his job. And we don't know where we'd be right now. We know where we are. Inflation. I mean, the stores are empty, prices are, and people like my mother, who's a diehard liberal, will make excuses. Well, it happens. Well, it happens. What happened? We've deteriorated in 9 months, and it's happened. They don't look at it. They just support blindly. They don't look at the actual
data
and what's happening. Many people like that. It's scary.
Do you think this is, because this is happening all around the world? A lot of people think that or claim that this is part of this like worldwide plan towards socialism, towards communism, to take away our constitution. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think it's just a trickle effect to the world. If it happens here, it's going to happen everywhere. Maybe it is. What was that?
The Great Reset.
The Great Reset. That's what I'm thinking of.
Right.
So
there was all this stuff. And look, I do, as much as I'm a conservative, I'm not total right wing as relates to these. To me, that's kind of like QAnon conspiracy theory stuff. I think that kind of takes it to the next level. I don't necessarily know if there's a worldwide government collaboration to have socialism and communism across the world. I think that the Democratic Party has just gone so far left. Their values and their policies and their actions are leading more towards socialistic and communistic type of behaviors, right? And that's what I don't think people like. And I don't think anyone in America would ever really stand for socialism or communism. And that goes back to what we were saying in the beginning about education, is getting people to open their eyes and actually see what's happening and compare what's happening to other places in the world that do embrace communism and socialism, and saying, look, is this how you want to be?
Yeah, but look at take New York, right? Long Island is red, and then you take
Well, all of New York is, if you look at the
you
heat
take
map,
Manhattan,
right?
and it's so saturated with people that live off the government, and they outnumber upstate,
Absolutely.
downstate, Long Island. Long Island has a huge Republican presence, huge. I mean, they are all over the place. They're on a mission, but then you have the city, and that's saturated by people that are on welfare, the system, Medicare. They want to continue to live like that, and they outnumber us. And that's the problem. And that's where we are with Cuomo and now
Hochul.
Republicans
have no chance.
No chance
in Manhattan.
We were talking about like institutions that sound like they're highly corrupt, like the FDA. How do you fix that beyond just voting and hoping that the next guy fires everybody?
How do you fix it? It's like
it's like everybody's going on strike, petitioning, trying to overturn certain legislatures. The mandates are not
lawsuits.
I mean, we have
exposure, right? That's a big thing, is just exposing these people. Look at how many documentaries are out there about Edward Snowden and the CIA, the FBI, right?
Yeah.
They're all in bed together, and that's the problem.
My last question, let's talk about Trudeau and the truckers and what's going on up there. I just love to get your guys' thoughts on what's happening in Canada.
Canada is just another animal. I feel like it's kind of like New York, trying to control everything. I think the truckers are holding their stance there, and they're not moving.
Yeah, I think so. There were a whole bunch here too. I think people are they don't want to be controlled. And we need enough people to come forward and just put us into all this shit.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, I just wanted a quick note. I actually signed up for speakyourmindhere.com, and it's a great user experience. It's a fantastic website. This is a homegrown social media platform, definitely much better than a lot of the larger social media platforms. And I really commend you guys for putting your time and dime into this. Just really happy that I've met such great patriots.
Thank you so much.
Likewise.